Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Jeb Smith, and in today's video we are going to discuss the housing market. We're going to talk about expectations over the next couple of weeks as we end 2020. We're also going to talk about projections as we move into 2021, the factors that are going to drive the housing market in 2021. We're also going to talk about things to be aware of if you're thinking of buying or selling as we move into the new year. Now, just to be clear, this is not a doom and gloom video, so if you're looking for that, you've tuned into the wrong channel. This is going to be based on what's actually happening in the housing market. We're going to talk about things, the key factors that are likely going to push 2021 to be a lot like 2020. But before we do that, I want to take a minute and ask a favor. If you're new to me, new to my channel, it's all about real estate, so hit that subscribe button if you like content like this. So let's start by talking about some news that we got this week. So interest rates now reached a new all-time low at 2.67%. Who would have thought, right? At the beginning of the year, we were somewhere in the high 3% range, and now we're pushing at 2.67%. And as you probably know, interest rates have been a key driving factor in the housing market, in the recovery that we've experienced over the last 9 months since the pandemic. So that will likely be one of the key drivers that continue to push the housing market. But let's talk about some of the things that are actually going to come out in the next couple of weeks that may have you rethinking buying or selling as we move into the new year. So chances are you're going to see reports over the next couple of weeks that shows that buyer demand has declined. You're going to see that pending home sales have likely declined. And there's a reason for that, right? We are in that time of the year, which is typically our slower season, and it's the holiday season. And this year is going to be no different. The main factor that is going to add to the normal decline that we have this year is the fact that we have a pandemic out there, right? So there are typically less people selling their homes during these months because of the holidays. People don't want people walking through their house when they have family and guests and all of that stuff happening. What you have this year on top of that is you have, a pandemic out there, right? And here in Southern California, we're starting to see numbers rise. We're starting to see hospitalizations go up. The ICU is more or less full. And with that, you have people scared, right? You have people that would continue putting their houses on the market maybe after the first of the year that are likely going to hold off on doing that because they're unsure of how they may be affected by having people walk through their homes. And that is going to essentially slow inventory down to record lows, especially here in Southern California. So, I looked this morning here in Southern California. I'm in Orange County, California, a county of 3.3 million people, and I believe we had somewhere around 2,600 homes on the market. 2,600 in all of Orange County. I've never seen anything even remotely close to those numbers. And here in Huntington Beach, where I am, yesterday we had 189 homes on the market out of 205,000 people. So inventory is very, very low. Why am I telling you this? Because buyer demand is going to decline because there's not a lot of properties out there for people to buy. You have to understand there's buyers in different price points. You have entry-level buyers, you have move-up buyers, you have luxury buyers. And, while there's, say, 189 homes on the market here in Huntington Beach, many of them are luxury homes. So the entry-level buyers, those aren't a fit for them. And then you have people that are mid-level buyers, and they're not looking for the entry level, not looking for the luxury, they're only looking for that. So the pool of properties for, these different categories of buyers are very, very low. And so because there's not a lot of property out there for buyers to buy, you're going to see numbers decline. You're going to see pending home sales decline. And the media is likely going to use that as an opportunity to say that the housing market is stalling and that it's slowing. And that's not the case. There's just less property out there. And, as we move into the new year, as the vaccine starts getting distributed more and more people start to take it, you're going to see people more comfortable with what's going on, and you're likely going to see inventory pick up. Now, normally, we don't see inventory pick up in the new year until sometime in the first week of February. It's usually around Super Bowl weekend. This year might even be a little bit slower just because of how things are moving out there. You've got more people becoming unemployed. California, where I am, you have stay-at-home orders that are taking place that are keeping people from actually going to work. So chances are you're going to see inventory continue to decline over the next couple of weeks, but interest rates are going to stay low. Buyer demand is going to stay there because there's a lot of buyers out there looking to purchase homes. These are not just entry-level buyers. These are buyers in all different categories, and these people have been putting in multiple offers over the last couple of months, and they're anxious to buy property. That's not going to change. So as more property comes to the market, you're going to see buyer demand pick up. You're going to see the pending home sales numbers pick up as well, and the market's likely going to continue pushing forward. Now, a lot of the economic forecasts out there that have been put out over the last couple of weeks are saying somewhere around 5% appreciation in 2021. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there saying, well, what's going to happen when forbearance ends? What's going to happen because unemployment numbers rise? I'm not going to dive into that on this video because I've done a lot of discussing about those in other videos, and I'll link to one here where I discuss, what's going to happen at the end of forbearance. So check that out if you're interested in my thoughts on that and how it's really not going to be a problem for the housing market. And another thing that happened in 2020 is savings increased by 1.6 trillion among Americans. Add that to appreciation that they've gained in their properties, and there's numbers showing a 4.4% increase among Americans in net worth. What does that mean? That means Americans have a lot more money in the bank than they did prior to 2020, whether it's in equity or cash or what have you. And so what that means is that as vaccines roll out, employment starts to pick up, you're able to travel, you're able to do leisurely activities, you're able to go, watch sports, games, entertainment, fly on planes, all of that good stuff. The economy is going to come back at a much quicker pace than a lot of people think. There's a lot of people out there looking to spend money. There's a lot of people out there that have been locked in their homes with kids, that are ready to get out and start doing things, right? And that's going to bring a lot of money back to the economy. So there's going to be a lot of people spending, and that's going to drive, and that's going to give people an opportunity to regain employment. On top of that, you have wage growth in the United States increasing by somewhere around 2.6% in 2020. So you've got people earning more that were fortunate enough to keep their jobs, and these people are going to want to spend money. This is going to be another driving factor of the market, right? You can have people spending money, housing is going to be there, the economy is going to come back at a much quicker pace than anyone thought. And another factor that's going to play in this is something called decentralization. And what that is it's people moving out of these dense areas, moving to, maybe areas that are more rural, areas that are less populated, and that is what has been driving the market in all of these, small markets across the nation this last year. Because of that, you've had, increases in markets that haven't seen appreciation in forever. And that's going to continue because people are now able to work from home. They're able to work remotely through Zoom or what have you. They no longer have to commute into work. And this gives people an opportunity to move to areas they would have never considered before, where cost of living is cheaper or less expensive. And that is going to continue to drive the housing market in these areas, right? So you're getting buyers that were never able to buy in, say, California, now moving to states like Arizona, Utah, Idaho, where homes are less expensive, and now these people can buy. And so that is creating more of an issue with inventory. And that's going to be one of the driving factors as we move into 2021 is that inventory that we discussed earlier. Now let's talk about what it means to be a buyer, to be a seller in 2021. As a buyer, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be an arduous process. Chances are, depending on your price point, if you're an entry-level buyer, especially here in Southern California, you're likely going to have to put in multiple offers on properties. Even as a move-up buyer, if your price point is under $1 million, $1.2 million, chances are you're going to see multiple offers on properties when they're priced correctly. That's just the reality of things. It's going to happen in other markets too. That's not just going to be Southern California. Sellers, if you're just selling your property and you already have a place to move, or you're looking to potentially rent, you're probably in a good position, because you know, if you price your home at fair market value, you're likely going to get multiple offers in most cases, and you're going to be able to sell pretty quickly. But if you're a seller also looking to buy, it's one of those catch-22s. It's going to be a difficult process. You're going to have to, you know, like buyers, you're going to have a really good experience on one side selling your home and likely getting more money for it. But on the buy side, you're probably going to have to put in multiple offers. So it's going to be tough. This video isn't about telling you to buy a house or sell a house. I'm just here to provide you with information so that you can make informed decisions as you move forward. Give you some expectations so that when you're thinking about what your plan is for 2021, you have an idea of what the market is likely to do. So if you're one of those people looking to buy a house, just make sure you're prepared. Make sure you've done your homework. Make sure you've been fully pre-approved with a lender, so that when something comes on the market and you're ready to purchase it, you're in a position to do so. You know, I talked a bit about what's going to be tough for buyers is not only finding property and being an entry-level buyer, but if you're a buyer using, say, FHA, minimal down payment, you're probably going to have a more difficult time than other buyers, just because you might be competing with buyers putting a large amount down, some cases people putting cash down and buying the home free and clear up front. It's just going to be a difficult process. So patience is going to be key in 2021. Don't get discouraged just because, you know, there's a lot of offers on property and you're having trouble finding one. Just, you know, make sure you're staying in line with what you're trying to accomplish, that you're working with a professional, you know, that knows the market and knows how to navigate it and can help guide you in the right direction. Again, those are my thoughts on 2021. I've been talking about a strong housing market since we went into the pandemic. You could go back and watch the videos where we've discussed what's going to happen in housing, and I expect it to continue. 2021 is going to look a lot like 2020. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, because there's a lot of people that have missed out on the market that are looking for an opportunity to get in. And a lot of people have regrets for not buying a property last year or the year before and what have you. And we all have those regrets, regardless of what year it was when we missed out on a property or didn't buy something, and now we see where the value of that home is. So, you know, don't get discouraged just because prices continue to increase. Again, stick to your plan. You know what you need to do so that when the right opportunity presents itself, you're ready to move forward with it. So, you know, I do appreciate your time and support. 2020 has been a good year. You guys have been very gracious in supporting me, and I'm very grateful for that. I'll continue to put out information as it becomes available. But for now, appreciate the time. Happy holidays. We'll talk soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.